Hey guys, Shelly here, and I am back to do another video, a fun video. I just watched the Socialite Life's video. Sandy is her name. Her video of this tag, the first time tag, and it was just so funny. And I mean, she's just so funny. She's like my friend in my head, like Wendy Williams would say. She's like my friend in my head. So I mean, I just love watching her because her videos are hilarious. But I watched her video and just immediately decided, you know, I need to do this tag. I've never done a tag on YouTube before, and this is the first one that I've just really been like, oh my gosh, I want to do this tag. I want to do this tag. So I decided to do this tag. It's just a bunch of random questions about your firsts. Like what, you know, your firsts have been, different situations, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to just get to the questions. So the first question is, what was your first tweet? I have no clue. But I'm sure it was probably like, you know, I'm on here finally. Hey, everybody, or something goofy and not memorable. Your first YouTube video. Well, I don't have very many videos as it is, but my first video was, I actually considered deleting that video recently because the lighting was bad. I just looked awkward and just not comfortable in front of the camera yet. And yeah, I just, it's not a good video, but it's like, it was my introduction video, kind of talking about, you know, what I was going to talk about on the channel, what it was going to be about. First person I subscribed to. The very first person I subscribed to was Beauty by JJ. And I remember it was like coming up on Christmas time. I wanted to try sew-in, and I was looking for styles. So I was kind of on YouTube just looking for styles that I could do, and her videos popped up, and I just started watching her videos, and I was just amazed at how beautiful she was, and I loved her accent, and her hair was always laid, and her makeup was flawless, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I also wanted to kind of get into makeup a little bit more, so that was another reason that I subscribed. First Facebook profile pic. I have no clue. Like, I made my Facebook page so long ago. Actually, when the way I got my first Facebook page, my teammates in college, my teammates in college forced me to make a Facebook page. Like, I had no desire. I still have to kind of, you know, do a little work to keep myself involved in social media. The only thing, if I'm gonna be honest, that I really actually keep up with and update is Instagram. I love Instagram. I'm like addicted to Instagram. But other than that, I think probably because Instagram is a little less invasive. You know, I can just post a picture, put a little caption under it, and keep it moving. But Facebook, like, you have to, you know, post and talk about stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that. Do you still talk to your first love? No. We well, yes and no, actually. We don't talk like on a regular basis or anything, but we're Facebook friends. So on the rare occasion that I actually go on Facebook, we kind of, you know, I'll go and look at pictures, or he'll comment and or like or say something on one of my pictures, and I'll, you know, same thing. He doesn't really get on that much either, so, you know, it's just it's literally every now and then. But you know, he's still somebody I care about, still love him to this day. Great guy. So yeah, we I guess, yeah, we kind of still talk. Your first alcoholic drink. Okay, this is a funny story. So, my senior year of high school, right before I left to go to college, the summer before I left to go to college, I had, you know, gotten a scholarship. I was going to college out of state, and I was, you know, was leaving home and all that stuff. And I decided that I wanted to try alcohol. Now, up to this point, I never drank, had, you know, any of that kind of stuff. The crowd that I kind of kept, we weren't into that. I was always with athletes. All my close friends were athletes. We were teammates. So none of us were really into that stuff. So there was no like peer pressure to drink or anything like that. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm stubborn as hell anyway. And you can't make me do anything that I don't want to do. So my senior summer before I left to go to college, I decided that I wanted to try alcohol. So a bunch of my friends and I went to, and if y'all don't know, I'm from Miami. And just to give you a baseline to go from, but we went to the most ratchet, ghetto, hood strip club I think that we could possibly find in Miami, and decided we were gonna go. My friends were like, we're gonna take you, you know, go ahead and show you what, you know, a drink is about. Make sure you with people that, you know, will take care of you, anything happens, blah 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 blah. So we get there, and I don't know if y'all have ever heard of a blue iced tea, but it's basically a Long Island iced tea with like something in it to make it blue. And if you don't know what Long Island iced tea is, it's basically a drink with 5 million different alcohols in it mixed all up into a concoction that actually tastes really good. It tastes like iced tea, so it masks the taste of the alcohol. So that's basically what the blue iced tea was, except I think there was like one additional alcohol. Like Long Island has like 7, I think, and blue iced tea had like 1 additional or something like that. So remember I told you that we were at a ratchet club, okay? So they served the drinks, not in a glass, in a plastic cup. In a plastic cup, okay? And the cup, you know, is about this big, pretty, you know, big. Y'all know what a plastic cup look like. I drank mine down till there was about this much left. And one of my friends switched the cup with hers, which was still full. And I pretty much downed that entire cup. It tastes like Kool-Aid to me. So I never had alcohol before. I didn't know, you know, you got to take your time, pace yourself, kind of let it hit you before you just start downing alcoholic drinks. Needless to say, it was an ugly night and an ugly morning and an ugly afternoon the next day. Oh my gosh. I've never been that sick before in my life. It was the most horrible feeling ever. Like, it was so, I can't even explain how horrible it was. Like, the worst feeling ever, to be that sick and to just throw up and just, I slept at my friend's house, and what I was told, because I don't remember most of the rest of the night, was that I threw up a couple times before we got to the house. Like, you know, pull over, throw up, pull over, throw up, get to the house, knock out, threw up in my sleep. Might be TMI, but maybe this will deter anybody that's underage from trying alcohol until you're responsible enough and knowledgeable enough to know what you're doing. But it was so horrible. I mean, the next day I was still throwing up. Well, I was dry heaving at this point because there was nothing left to throw up. So it was just a horrible experience. So bad that I didn't take another sip of alcohol until my senior year of college. Like, none. I was that traumatized. I hated the smell of alcohol. My husband at the time would try to get me to try like wine coolers. That would have me like, like it was that bad. So I was traumatized, and I didn't want anything to do with alcohol after that. So yeah, that was my first alcoholic drink story. Next question, your first job. My first job was actually at Burger King. I wasn't there very long because I had a bit of an attitude when I was younger, teenager especially. And, you know, I had a customer come in one day, a lady that was just rude and obnoxious for no reason. And I like, no ma'am, you're not gonna come up in here and talk to me like you have no sense. So this job is just not for me. I think I quit like the next day. First person to text you this morning, my mom. I just posted, or I haven't, it's loading right now actually, but oh, my hair is doing something crazy. But I'm about to upload a video I just recorded, which is my hair update and big little secret that I'm revealing to you guys about a hair restoration procedure that I had. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It'll be up before this one. But my mom was the first person to text me this morning. She was just checking on me, asking how I was doing, how my face was, if the swelling had gone down, and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, my mommy was the first person to text me. Where was your first ride on an airplane? My very, very, very first ride on an airplane, I don't remember because I was 6 months old. And it was to Jamaica. My parents are Jamaican. I was raised by just my mother, but both my parents are Jamaican. And that was, you know, first time was going back home, I guess. I wasn't born there. I was born in Miami, but going back to Jamaica to visit. The first time that I can remember was also going to Jamaica. It was when I was 13 or 14. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but that's the first time that I actually vividly remember. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? Oh, my first best friend was a girl named Erin Oates. I'll never forget her name. So funny, but we were like best friends in middle school, and then we ended up going to different high schools, so we didn't talk as much. We kind of kept up a little bit. I went away to college out of state, and so that kind of, you know, made that gap kind of grow a little larger with us trying to keep in touch. When I came back home to visit after my freshman year of college, I looked her up and kind of tracked her down and found her, and we kind of linked up and hung out a little bit. And then when I left to go back to college again, we just lost touch. And after my freshman year, I didn't really make it back home that often because I went to school so far away, and I was an athlete, so there was no free time for us, for athletes. When all the regular students were getting their breaks to go home and spend 2 weeks at home for Christmas and spring break and all, no, we were in a gym. Where was your first sleepover? I have a funny story about this too. Okay, my first sleepover was, mind you, this is actually the only sleepover that I can remember. Pretty sure this was the only one, because like I said, I had a Jamaican mother who, if anybody that has Caribbean parents knows like how strict they are and how tight of a leash they hold on their children. Like, on one hand, it's a really good thing because most Caribbean kids are very disciplined and very well mannered and all that stuff, and on the other hand, it's like, oh my gosh, you're stifling me. Like, can I live? Can I live? My first sleepover was with one of my track teammates. I ran track when I was younger, and it's so funny because, okay, like I said, my mother is Jamaican, and another thing that is kind of synonymous with Caribbean parents is, well, the ones that I know, I'm not going to just generalize, but more directly, my mother. She was raised very strict and very proper, and the Jamaican dialect is called patois, if you don't know. And my mother growing up was not allowed to speak patois in our house because patois is like the equivalent of what Ebonics is to English. You know what I mean? So they weren't allowed to speak patois in the house. Like, they had to speak proper English. My grandfather was a military man, so you can just imagine a Jamaican military man. Oh, Lord. So they were raised very, very strict, like proper English all the time, you know, proper table manners and etiquette and all that stuff. So in my house growing up, we weren't allowed to speak broken English and Ebonics and, you know, stuff like that. So My first experience with like really meeting that head on was at this sleepover with my track teammate. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was probably about 5 or 6 girls in the house. We were all hanging out. We were like in the den area. And we were just like laid out all over the floor. We had like, blankets and pillows and stuff. Just, typical girls little sleepover type deal. And I was laying down and my friend said to me, mind you, my friend that I'm about to imitate, she was American, like from Miami, straight Ebonics speaking, anybody that's from Miami or the South even, like y'all know that strong Ebonic dialect that if you just didn't grow up in that, especially as a young child and you haven't grown up in that and you haven't really heard it, you might not understand it. Don't judge me, but like I said, I was raised very strict and proper. So I was laying down and she said to me, hand me that puller. What? Hand me that puller. Wait, huh? She was telling me to hand her the pillow that was behind me. Y'all, I must have asked this girl 3 or 4 times what she was saying because I could not understand for the life of me what she was asking me to give her. One of my other teammates had to translate and tell me what she was trying to ask for. Oh my gosh, I remember it like it was yesterday. So funny, like I crack up about that to this day. First thing you did this morning. First thing I did this morning after I turned my alarm off, I always just lay in bed for a couple minutes after I turn my alarm off, and actually I will snooze my alarm just in case I fall back asleep in this process. But the first thing I do, I turn my alarm off. First thing I do is I just lay there and I just send up thanks and ask for, coverage and blessings for the day. And then the next thing I do, I don't know if very many people know what The Secret is, but I'm a true believer in The Secret, and I have an app on my phone and it gives you daily kind of inspiration, I guess you say. So after I, do my thanks and I send that up, I open my app and read what the day's encouragement or, thing is. So first thing I did this morning. First concert you ever went to. First concert I ever went to, no lie, was last year Christmas. This past Christmas. Christmas or my birthday? My birthday is in January, so it's the beginning of January. So I kind of don't know. I don't remember which one it was for, but my baby bought me tickets to go see Trey Songz because I love me some Trey Songz. Like, I think he's just gorgeous. But yeah, anyway, that was my first concert. I had never been to a concert before that. Your first broken bone. I have never, thank God, knock on wood, ever broken a bone. I've been an athlete all my life, and I've had, other kinds of injuries, all kinds of stuff, but never broken a bone, thank goodness. Your first piercing. Well, if we want to be technical, my first piercing was my ears when I was a baby that my mother did. So if we want to say first piercing that I did, I was a little bit of a wild child, y'all. So my first piercing, I think I was 16 or 17 years old. My mother told me not to do it, and I wanted to do it anyway, so I did. I pierced my belly button. I think that was the first one. First foreign country you've been to? Jamaica. Like I said, that's where my family is from, so that was the first foreign country that I traveled to. I've since been to, gosh, a few others, many others, but that was the first. First movie I remember seeing. Really? I don't remember at all. And if I was to say something, I would just be making it up. But I'm sure the first one was like some kind of PG Disney type movie, because that's all I was allowed to see anyway growing up. So I'm sure it was a Disney movie. When was your first detention? This is another funny story. So my first detention was in elementary school. I think I was in like the first or second grade, something like that. Or maybe I was younger. Maybe it was like kindergarten or first grade. So I think it was kindergarten, actually. I think it was kindergarten. And my little friend, it was a boy, I don't remember his name, but he convinced me that, well, he told me that he knew that the teacher had candy in her desk. I'm gonna show y'all what I have sitting on my vanity right here. I love candy. So that's like my weakness. And 5, 6 years old. Oh, it's some candy over there, huh? What? Oh, okay, I'm with you. Let's go. So he convinced me that we should go and sneak into the teacher's desk and steal some candy. So we did. And the funny thing about this story is, of course, the teacher caught us, found out, I don't know how, I don't remember how, but at 5, 6 years old, you think you're smart and you think you can get away with something, and it's like the dumbest attempt ever. The teacher told me that we were in trouble and we were gonna have to, you know, sit in detention, you know, after class, and we were in big trouble, and that we wouldn't be able to get any candy for like the rest of the week or something. And me, with my little sassy flip mouth, told the teacher, so I don't care, because my mom can buy me all the candy I want. My mother loves to bring that up and talk about me to this day, about how much attitude and mouth that I had when I was little. But yeah, that was my first detention. Who was my first roommate? Okay, so I guess this is kind of roommate, kind of not. When I got to college, they put us in, like I said, I was an athlete, so they put us in what was the team housing, but they were apartments. They weren't dorms. So each apartment had 4 bedrooms in it, 2 on each side with a bathroom on each side. So I guess this kind of counts as my roommates because we shared the same living area and kitchen and common areas and all that stuff. So I actually had 3 first roommates. On my side, it was myself and my high school teammate. We both signed scholarships to the same university. So we were on one side and we shared a bathroom. And then on the other side was my other teammate, who it was also her first year there, but she wasn't a freshman. She was a JUCO transfer. So she was on one side with our team manager, who was also a JUCO transfer from the same school that my teammate had come from. So basically they kind of put us together with the people that we knew and that we had already, you know, had a relationship with. So my high school teammate and I were on one side, and then my other teammate and manager were on the other side, and we each had a, you know, bathroom on each side, and you know, kitchen, common areas, all that stuff. If I had one wish, what would it be? For more wishes, duh. Everybody knows that. I mean, come on. But I don't know. Outside of that, if I had one wish, you know, I mean, this is gonna sound corny, but seriously, just for peace in this world, just world peace, and for people to be at peace, and just, you know, just be peaceful and tolerant, and, you know, understand that everybody, regardless of who they are, what they are, you know, whatever, what they look like, who they love. We're all God's children. We're all human beings with feelings, and everyone should be, you know, have the freedom to live their lives as they feel without, you know, judgment or ridicule or violence or, you know, anything like that. Just, you know, with the recent things that have gone on in the news with stereotyping and, you know, don't get me on my soapbox, y'all. I digress. But that would be my wish. Okay, next question. What was the first sport you were involved in? Like I've said a couple times in this video, I play basketball. That's what I've done, you know, for a long time. For more of my life, I've played basketball than I haven't. But the first sport I was involved in was track. I ran track before I did anything, and I tell everybody I was a better track athlete than I was basketball player, but I got good at basketball because I could beat everybody to the easiest shot on the court, which was a layup, because I was fast. So that's kind of, you know, how that transformed into, you know, me being a... Okay, my memory card got full, so I had to free up some space. But yeah, the next question, first thing you do when you get home. You know, it varies. Gosh, you know, it depends on what I've done that day, honestly. Anything from changing clothes, to running in to get dinner started, or you know, like I said, it just varies on what I've been doing that day and what needs to be done when I get home. You know, homework, my daughter, it just depends. Running in, getting her ready for track practice. It really just depends on what's going on that day. So I don't have a set anything that I do every day when I get home. And the last question, your first kiss. My first kiss was my first boyfriend. Dave was his name. Oh, Dave was so cute. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of fuzzy now. I think I was like 15 or something like that. I was 15, I believe, and Dave was like 18 or 19, and my mom so disapproved. She didn't want me, she didn't want me to have a boyfriend, period. Remember, I told you how I was raised in a Caribbean household. They didn't play that mess. But like I said, also, I was a bit of a rebellious wild child. So I kind of was going to bend the rules and break the rules and punch the rules right in the face, because that was just my personality. Like I said earlier, I'm stubborn as heck, and can't nobody make me do nothing I don't want to do. That's been my personality since I can remember. My mother will tell anybody that will listen that, you know, she could never tell me anything, even when I was growing up in her house. So why would anybody think she could tell me something now? That's her favorite line whenever somebody tries to get her to get me to do something. So, you know, I've just always had that kind of personality, and my mom and I have butted heads, gosh, when I was growing up. But we're much better now. We're closer now. We are just alike. I've come to learn and understand now that I'm an adult, and that's probably why we didn't get along when I was younger. And when I say I was wild child, yeah, don't think I wasn't running around doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I was actually a very good kid. I wasn't into smoking and drinking and, you know, any of that kind of stuff. I was, number one, I had such a strict upbringing that was all just foreign to me. And two, I was scared of my mother to do anything really crazy that would like get me hung. But you know, the boyfriend stuff, I think all girls do that, you know, sneak out to go see their boyfriend and kiss in the car. But whatever, that was my first kiss, my first boyfriend, when I was like 15 years old. So yeah, that was it. That is the first tag. And I had fun doing this. It was funny. I got to laugh about some stuff that I haven't thought about in a long time. So yeah, my first tag video was, hey, that's another first, my first tag video. So there you go. I'm goofy, don't mind me. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Ciao, Bellas.